Millions of Americans suffer from cancer, but for many, fighting the disease is just half the battle. The financial burden of living with cancer can leave patients desperate. It's a struggle Colorado oncologist David Schreier sees every day, but never more starkly than when he met Raymond Wentz, a teenager diagnosed with lymphoma.
When I opened the door, I saw Raymond, who was 17, and his sister Michelle, 19, holding hands. They were, terrified. They had fear in their eyes. There were no parents, no grandparents, no aunts and uncles in the room, just two scared children.
Without family support, Raymond worked at a grocery store to pay the bills.
One morning he called into our triage nurse, and he had a temperature of 103 and was feeling really sick. And she said to him, you need to come into the office and see Dr. Schreier. Well, several hours went by, many phone calls to find out where Raymond was, and then sometime after 4 o'clock he walked into the office, pale, sweaty, really looking bad. And our nurse said to him, we told you to come right away, where have you been? And he said, I did, I had to ride my bike.
After weeks in the hospital, Dr. Schreier told his sister Michelle that Raymond was not going to survive.
She immediately said that she wanted to take him home to die. And I looked at her and I said, Michelle, he's very ill, and do you think that you can handle this? And she said, yes, the only thing we have to worry about is food. Those words were said with such sincerity that they've haunted me ever since. Raymond and Michelle went home that night, and that's when Raymond passed away.
Determined that no patient should struggle the way Raymond did, Dr. Schreier started the Raymond Wentz Foundation. Its grants help patients in Colorado with daily needs like food, transportation, and daycare while they undergo cancer treatment.
I remember my wife coming in from the mailbox and telling us, look, we got a check from this foundation. We can go pay our utilities because we've been begging them to keep them on.
That was a blessed day in my life, that when she presented the check to me, that helped us out on the mortgage.
The day I received the check from Raymond Wentz Foundation, it was in the middle of the month, and I get paid monthly, so it was perfect timing. I went shopping and got some groceries for the kids and paid a couple more bills, and it just came at a perfect time.
It's a very thin margin between what that person needs to succeed, to be able to cure themselves, to be able to provide for their family, and between giving up. And when you see those individual instances, that's what's really, I think that's what compels people to action.
Love, faith, hope, much needed. We will never be defeated. Love, faith, hope, much needed. We will never be defeated. We will never be defeated. Love, faith, hope, much needed. We will never be defeated. Love, faith, hope, much needed. We will never be defeated. We will never be defeated.
What's amazing is that most people, that when they give to an organization like Raymond Wentz Foundation, they will 6 months later feel better for it, right? That's one of the things. A lot of times you'll buy something and you'll have buyer's remorse in a month or 6 months. You'll wish you hadn't spent the money on that. It's hard for me to. I'm not aware of very many people when they give money to something like the Raymond Wentz Foundation that they ever have buyer's remorse, that they ever regret it. I think as time goes on, they feel better about it.
If Raymond could see the foundation now bearing his name, I think he'd probably smile. He'd have that typical twinkle in his eye. He'd say, wow, Doc, this is great.